Okay everyone, we're here for a DIY in regards to biochar. Do you have a sheep station, a cattle station, or a property that you're trying to grow abundantly on? What is it that is actually so good about biochar? Biochar is in every gram. If you get the full pyralis biochar, that's gone through the full extraction and removing of the oxygen from the chamber to produce the pyralysis biochar. Now, just 1 gram of biochar, this is what's so good about it, is just in 1 gram you will have 836 million square meters of surface area. Now if you're trying to grow on land and you've got dirt areas that you're trying to rehabilitate, like see the dirt showing through here, it's got a lot of dry matter, but there's no plants actually growing. Well, this is where biochar works really, really well. 1, biochar aerates the soil. So this is a benefit of biochar. It helps to aerate the soil and helps to allow more oxygen for the root systems of plants, so you don't have the anaerobic situation where plants are not growing. That's the current status here in this area. It's in fact anaerobic and plants don't want to grow there. They will eventually grow out if you were to put Myco 15 in here. This can be obtained on earthloveglobal.com.au's website. What you do is you put the Myco 15 in and around on the living plants. That fungi will attach with the plants and grow out into this area and close it up. It will start to close up with a lot of life, and the plants come back alive. It turns anaerobic situations into aerobic. But if you want to do it on a whole nother scale, then biochar DIY is the way to go. Now, can you make your own biochar? Yes, but if you're in Australia, then contact Earthlove Global Biochar Facilities. We're all over Australia and we transport Australia wide. What our company does is we transform non-productive locations into highly fertile locations with biochar. Now, you would think in this situation right here, you can grow really, really predominantly. This location gets extraordinary amounts of rainfall. What is the problem in this? Having too much rainfall creates leaching. Now, leaching is the #1 factor of the diminished bacteria and fungi in your soils. So to transform that, you have biochar and you put the biochar in here under a DIY, do-it-yourself program. Now, we would dig in here and we would just put in probably a handful of biochar. You can go at 2.5% biochar at 10 mil. All you need is, this is the bare minimum that we recommend, up to 20%. All you need is 1 cubic meter per acre of biochar. Now, going up in sizes, you can go anywhere up to 20 cubic meters of biochar into the 1 acre, and this is going to amplify the soil's potential. What is received from the biochar is a 300% increase. Now, if you were not growing and it was in arid locations or desert locations, we have obtained 880% growth in yields by incorporating biochar. So this is how beneficial biochar DIY is. Can you make your own? Yes, you can. But if you don't want to and you're wanting to get your lands thriving, then contact Earthlove Global today, because Earthlove Global are regenerating locations throughout Australia with biochar. Now, why is biochar so good? We've already explained biochar eliminates anaerobic situations, making the soils more aerobic. They house over 836 million square meters of surface area, meaning it's going to house extreme amounts of fungi and bacteria. So this is going to build and amplify your soils. Now, if you're on a 1,000,000 acre property, or you're on a cattle station, or you're on a sheep station, or you're just trying to grow on soil, then biochar is for you. Why? Because DIY biochar is in fact the future in soil regeneration. Now, we go across Australia and we find biochar DIY is for every farmer, because you can trial your own systems and find the best solution of biochar for your land. Now, how much would you put in? You could put in 2% biochar, which we've already explained. At 10 mil, you would only add 1 cubic meter per acre. Increase that to 5% and up to 10%. 10%, you're going to be looking at 4 cubic meters to the acre. Now, you can ramp it right up to 8 to 20%, which would be about 8 cubic meters to the acre. Now, these figures are only within the first 10 millimeters of the soil surface. So if you want to learn more about biochar and you want to DIY your own biochar setup on your property, Earthlove Global do regenerations, and we sell biochar machinery. Now, this machinery, there is multiple setups. One is, which does 17 cubic meters at a time, is $350,000 to $470,000. Now, these machines, they are machines that you can go anywhere and shut it down. So if you've got to put it on and you're going away for the weekend, it's like an oven. You've got all digital downloads, it's all online, so you can monitor that anywhere in Australia or the world, and you can shut that down when you're finished doing the 17 cubic meters. Or if there's a problem or an issue where it's got too hot, you can turn on the isolating fans and cool it down and shut it off. So if you want to learn more about biochar and you want to do it on a smaller scale or a commercial scale, then our smaller biochar operations, like our 3, 6 and 9 cubic meter biochar Pyralis machines, they're also available as well. So biochar DIY, we're going to tell you right now, the future in soil, in growing land, growing pastures, growing food, growing crops, growing anything growing out of the soil, we highly recommend get on this, because why? It is the future. Now, when you incorporate your biochar, it's not like anything else. You don't have to reapply. You can put it in and guarantee the next 10,000 years that biochar is going to be present in that soil, and it's going to continue to give back. So you're setting foundations for not just your own family, but for the environment and all the generations that follow that work on that land. What an amazing contribution to your soils and fertility. Not only that, you're going to start to see results within the first 3 months, from 300% increase in yields up to 880% increase in yields. So thank you very much for contacting Earthlove Global and watching this video. Feel free to subscribe to our channel. If you like this video and you want to learn more about DIY biochar in Queensland, Australia, then contact earthloveglobal.com.au and fill out the inquiry form. We are here to help you transform your ecosystems and your landscapes into thriving abundance, utilising biochar, mycorrhizal products and compost. We do compost teas and so much more. But this biochar video, DIY video, will teach you how to incorporate this into your soils and start to produce productivity and yields. Thank you for your time. We'll be back next week with another video.